For more than 2 decades, Vladimir Putin has crafted a persona of control, stability, and unshakable strength. In Russia's political culture, shaped by hardship, collapse, and nostalgia for past power, this image is not just preference, it is survival. And for Putin, it becomes the lens through which threats, opportunities, and history itself are interpreted. NATO expansion eastward after the fall of the Soviet Union deeply shaped Russia's worldview. While NATO insisted its growth was voluntary, Putin argued that the West was encroaching on Russia's historic sphere of influence. Ukraine, large, resource-rich, culturally intertwined with Russia, was the greatest loss of all. To Putin, its drift toward Europe represented not just geopolitics, but the erosion of Russia's place in the world. In both 2004 and 2014, Ukrainian movements rejected pro-Russian leaders and demanded closer alignment with Europe. Putin viewed these uprisings not as organic democratic movements, but as Western-backed attempts to weaken Russia. When Ukraine's 2014 revolution forced out a pro-Moscow president, Putin responded by annexing Crimea, framing it as protecting Russian speakers and restoring historic territory. In February 2022, when Russian forces crossed into Ukraine, Putin presented several public reasons: that NATO expansion posed an existential threat, that Ukraine was becoming a Western military outpost, that Russian speakers in the Donbass needed protection, and that Ukraine, in Russia's view, had no historical legitimacy apart from Russia itself. These were the claims broadcast to the nation and the world. But analysts point to deeper motivations operating beneath the surface. Putin's political power rests heavily on projecting decisiveness, resolve, and national restoration. Many Russians, shaped by the turbulence of the 1990s, gravitate toward leaders who embody strength. For Putin, allowing Ukraine to slip decisively toward the West risked appearing weak at home. It threatened the narrative of a Russia rising again under his leadership. War, in this sense, became not only a geopolitical act, but a reinforcement of personal and national image. Many scholars argue that Putin misjudged the situation, believing Ukraine would collapse quickly, believing the West was divided, believing his own military was stronger than it was. These miscalculations grew partly from isolation, a political environment where few advisors challenge the leader and where strength is shown by agreement, not dissent. The invasion triggered fierce Ukrainian resistance and united much of Europe against Moscow. What Putin expected to be a swift operation became a prolonged war, reshaping global politics